It's been a while since we talked about future characters, so let's actually jump into the game files and to what we know about already. It's in there, and what characters we're getting sooner or later, right? We do not know the order, and they can always add more banners, but it's a nice reference to see what we're getting. So let's talk a little bit about that. No Chinese flag on the background today. I just woke up, her room is kind of a mess still, haven't done anything. But let's talk about this before we start. Hello the internet, welcome back to the Waifus. I'm Sefhi, your favorite gambling addict. Today's topic, future banners for TRICKCAL, Chivigo, what's on the files, and in my opinion, which ones are worth pulling for or not. Leave a like, subscribe, help me to the channel, and we'll divide this video into two parts, like on the same video. The part one is going to be characters that are already in the game and are getting just like a new banner, but they are already in game, right? Like for example, Diana and Gabia, and characters that are new and we're getting soon, which is going to be Ashur, Ron, etc. So on the right of the picture, you have the characters already in game. On the left, you have the characters that are new. So we'll start with the right and which ones, in my opinion, are worth pulling for or not. When it comes to the current characters, and overall, even for the new banners, you all know that TRICKCAL is a game that you will be pulling for the characters you like. You will be pulling for the personalities you want to build. For free-to-play and light spenders, it's going to take some time until you can build 2, 3, 4, 5 teams eventually. Eventually, you will be able to have a full team of each personality, but it's going to take some time, right? So you have to focus on what's the best for your account early on. And most people will focus on 1 or 2 personalities. Obviously, the most popular are still the Press and Vivacious, but that's up to you. We will be making a separate video probably talking about like what's the strongest personality and which ones in my opinion are the most important ones to be building early on, but that's probably for another day. That said, for the current banners, there is a few units that are nice and you could be pulling for, and there is a few that are not as necessary and you can completely be skipping. For example, in my opinion, Sefhi, it's an easy skip. Sefhi is a character that has seen almost no usage when it comes to the innocence personality, and sadly, a lot of the characters that I'm going to be talking about in terms of skipping are innocent. Hey, I love my green girls, but right now there is like barely reasons to be building them outside of PV and Erpin, maybe Gabia if you like it, right? But Sefhi has no usage in the current innocent meta, and she will have no place as other characters release. She will be the first one to go out, so I don't think it's worth investing in her unless she's your waifu, obviously, right? A similar thing applies to Gabia, where she's a decent character and she does have synergy with the other green units. A lot of the green characters, as they come out later, and you will see this, a lot of the green supports focus on shields. There is not a lot of pure healers, right? So Gabia has a lot of synergy with the characters that can apply shield to themselves, and it's actually pretty nice to have that synergy. Her damage is underwhelming, obviously, as for support character, so she's mostly there for those shields. But outside of that, it's not a fantastic unit. And as you see on the left side, we're getting Naya. And for those of you who don't know, Naya is actually going to be our first nice healer for this team. Right now we have Mago, but Naya is going to be like the actual first nice healer that you could be getting for Innocent. So those two, there is not a lot of reasons to be pulling for them, or at least in my opinion, there is not a lot of reasons to be pulling for them. Then you go into characters that are a lot better, a lot nicer to be getting, right? The first one, the first one being Diana. So Diana is a character that has 2 really good things. Oh, not so bad. The first one is that she's a pretty nice healer, right? It's a good healer. There is no other healer right now, I believe, for the mad personality. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, obviously. But the best thing she has is her passive skill. Her passive skill will increase everyone's damage if they belong to the same personality, to Madness. So she is the buffer, the attack buffer for this team, and also the healer. So fantastic character. I recommend getting her if you plan on building Madness. She is one of the staple units we'll be using for a long time. The same applies for Shion. Any Eldain we are getting a banner, in my opinion, regardless of what personality you are building, you should get a copy of each Eldain because they are the strongest characters in the game, right? Shion is still one of the strongest damage dealers. The best thing she has is that she can pick up always the enemies in the back. She's always targeting the furthest enemy, right? Which is always really good for some of those annoying enemies like the furries in the late chapters that are healing, or like the enemies that are throwing darts. Like there is a lot of annoying enemies in the back that she can't pick off. I personally prefer to just focus on Yomi because she is the support damage dealer, sub tank or off tank, debuffer. She does everything, right? So I prefer to focus on Yomi, but obviously Shion is still fantastic. So I will say you can grab a copy. And then when it comes to Picora, I'm gonna be 100% honest. I do like Picora. I think it's pretty nice. There are other options for the composed team, but I think it's nice to get a copy if you are building this team. The best thing about Picora is that not only she heals, but also her passive is a global passive, increasing crit resistance for everyone, regardless of the personality. So this is not only for composed characters, this is for everyone, and this helps a lot when you are pushing under really big combat power gaps. Now, if you don't like Picora, and you still want to be building a composed team, the alternative to be building, which everyone will have, is Meluna. I know it sounds like a meme, but she's an actual really strong healer. I've said this multiple times, because her AoE will heal all allies. This means on raids, she heals every single unit, not just one or two, right? So she is a pretty good healer, and she can be used. I'm personally using both of them right now when I'm running a composed team, both Picora and Meluna. Obviously, Picora has more utility, but still, it's nice to have like multiple options for that. So that depends on if you're building the team or not. That's said about current units. Let's move into the left side and talk a little bit about what characters are here that are most likely, in my opinion, the ones you should be focusing for. So there is a lot of really nice characters here, and I want to start probably with the characters that I don't think are going to be worth pulling, but it depends what they do. As usual, remember that it doesn't matter what the kit for these characters is in Korea. Global is different, all right? So do not take this as anything but me japping and guessing what's going to be happening, right? The first one, it's going to be Ashur. Ashur, as you guys can see, it's a nice, the press girl. Once again, the press keeps getting more and more and more units. The thing with the press is that they have such a strong team already that unless Ashur, it's a really powerful character, and by really powerful, I really mean it. Like, she has to rival Shion in terms of damage in order for you to be considering even getting her, right? The only other reason I could see people pulling for her, because she's a back row, is if you for some reason don't like Gideon, even though her damage clearly is fantastic, and you want to have an extra backline instead of a front line. But even then, as you can see, another back row for the press. They already have a lot of characters. I don't think it's necessary to be getting one more, but that's just me. The rest of the characters on this list most likely will all be pretty good. Oh, not this. But I want to talk about them. So the first one is going to be Ron. So for those of you who don't know Ron, you might have seen her already on the story. Ron is a pretty cute, right here, Ron, and her alt, Knight, right? And she's a tank for Innocence. The problem with being a tank for Innocence is that there is no reason, or there is no way you can really compete with Bibi, all right? Even if they are the weakest personality in the game right now, Bibi is still one of the strongest tanks in the game. But what they did, from what we've seen on the leak files, is that Ron will be able to buff one character with the highest attack with really big percentages. So she's gonna be a buffer. So you could be running Ron as a sub DPS while just getting her for the buffs, right? And that will be probably really, really good. I think that was her passive. We'll see. When it comes to Shopan, this is the same case as always. We need to wait for her kit. She's a pretty fun character. She's a Vivacious girl. Vivacious is in a really good position at the moment after we got Epica, because now you have Yui and Epica, which are, you know, a fantastic combo. At the moment we get Bella, Vivacious will just keep getting even more and more popular. And when it comes to Shopan, she's a back row support character. I do not know what her kit does. I'm not going to be talking about her because, again, I don't know, right? But I will say, if you're building a Vivacious team, right now there is still one spot left we need to fill. A lot of people are running right now either Kana or Rufo or Bana or Benny, like any of those characters that clearly are not great, right? So Shopan has a place on the meta right now. So that's great if you're building a Vivacious team. Then you have, not here, then you have Riota. Riota is a must pull for anyone building a blue team. So Riota is a tank that will also heal the team, that will act as a support and also a tank. Fantastic unit. If you are building a composed team, she will be replacing 100%, obviously, Velvet. Velvet is not a fantastic unit, I will say, no. But if you like Velvet, she can be used. I've been using her no problem at all so far to clear content anytime there is fire enemies, and she works, but she is weaker. So Riota will be replacing her 100%. I would recommend you guys actually go and get a copy if you're building that team. And then the last character that we already talked a little bit earlier, but that is Naya. So Naya is going to be the second character on the left side that is Innocence. And Naya is going to be replacing Mago. Mago is the only pure healer we currently have for Innocence. And it is not great. Okay, she's not great. It is what it is. But Naya is actually a pretty good support character. So that's what she's going to be doing. It's just a healer, middle row that can be used with your Gabia to get the shields and also to get the heals. If you like Mago, you can be using Mago, and for now she will work. But clearly moving forward, when you need more heals, she's not going to be enough. So if you are building an Innocence team, the best team, you should be grabbing a copy of Naya for sure. I would give priority to Naya rather than Ron, because Ron, we already have a great tank. Even if she's a buffer as well, you can get her later whenever we get the personality banner or in the tower if you get lucky. I would give priority to a support character that will be used for longer rather than Ron. But again, we'll see. It depends on the passives they get. It depends on 1,000 different things, right? But that's basically everything for the characters currently on the game file. There is nothing else as far as I know. Whenever we get a second update, we'll see if there's any other characters in there. But those are the ones right now. Any questions you guys have, as usual, feel free to leave a comment down below. We are live every single day. Links also in the description. Good luck with your pool, the internets, and I'll see you in the next one.